Alright, so I think it took me longer to thread these needles than it did to actually punch all those holes. So, because my needles, they're a little worn. You see a little curve to them. I do this a lot. I love stitching by hand. It's my favorite thing to do. It's very therapeutic in case anybody wants to get into leather work. This is really is very, very satisfying to feel it in your hands yourself. So, again, most of my stuff is on a budget. You know, I do things by hand because I don't afford the machines. So there's a nice little thing. We'll talk about it for a sec. It's basically a clamp, and you clamp it together, and it attaches to a table, and it'll hold your project right here in front of you. It's all fine and dandy. I rigged one a minute ago, or not a minute ago, a couple days ago to stitch the original straps together, but it just didn't quite work out because it's not what it's made to do. So, but what I wanted to talk about was stitching. Okay, you know, anybody who's in leather work, the saddle stitch, right? You go in one side, out the other, get you about even, and then you work your way in and out, right? One of the both of them at the same time. I've never accomplished that. I've never been able to get two needles through the same hole. Maybe once I was originally using a hole punch, but ever since I started using the chisel punch, there's just no way. I don't know how these guys. I mean, I've seen them do it. I know it's possible, but I don't know. So I'm gonna knock this out real quick because watching somebody stitch things together is probably really boring. So again, this isn't enough to do this whole thing because I just wanted to make a point real quick. So I ran one through the next hole, and then through the next one, and I already didn't go the way I wanted to. Oh, I got a message on Facebook. Yay, social media. So you get them both through. Okay, again, normal saddle stitch. Pull your strings tight. The thing is, when you get 2 or 3 or 4 done, and you got a nice steady thing, you know, you're not gonna end up pulling your original evenness out, right? So if I go ahead and pull this and stretch my needles to their full extent, they should still be about even. So I'm down, I'm in 2, and I'm gonna get one more before I show you my little thing, because again, I do this a lot in my lap, you know, when I'm sitting around doing nothing, you know, other than playing with the baby. Sorry, honey. Okay, so there, I've got 3 done. One of the things I like to do, because again, sometimes your thread gets crossed, your needles get crossed, and it's kind of a pain to sit there and do it. So, in one side, you notice I haven't put this needle down yet. Sometimes you gotta work the hole in. I've also, don't pull too hard, because I've shattered a few needles, and it does not feel good when it hits you in the face. So, I'm gonna go a couple more so you can really see it. But, so, with just one side, okay, I pulled one needle through a couple more holes, okay, because again, it's really a pain when you're doing this stuff by hand and you don't have the nice little machine in front of you. But the thing is you know, oh, you got to do it at the same time, and I've never found a video explaining why you had to do it at the same time. Maybe it's just because that's the way it's done, right? Since leatherwork was invented, I guess. I have no idea. I don't know the history behind it, but and there, doesn't look any different, doesn't feel any different. So, and I'm gonna try again, like I've seen on 1,000 YouTube videos, right? You go in a little bit with one, and then you come out with the other. Oh, it actually did work. I normally can't do that, and I was kind of ruined my point. But again, I can do that. But now I had all this thread floating around. It actually, I believe it's actually on a knot on the inside, and it's doable. But to me, and I actually stuck myself probably 3 times in that 4 seconds, when it's just as easy to do it my way. Run in one a few holes and then run the other one, and then that way you can keep them on the same side. You always have one dangling, one in hand. Plus, I think it's easier to move one needle through than both of them at the same time. So, now that needle's on that side, and then I can come back through, in, and out. Now, my needles didn't get crossed. My stitching is still done. Nicely done. I really do like the contrast colors. But if anybody can figure out why you have to do it two at the same time, or what the reasoning is that people do it that way, maybe it's because it's easier. Maybe if I had the machine up in front of me that was going to clamp it down in front of me, maybe it would be easier to do it that way. I just don't see it, and I don't like to stab myself. So it's usually something I try to avoid. But yeah, so yeah, saddle stitch is great. I love it. That's the way I've always done it, because it's the only way I know how to do it. I lied. I've done a box stitch. It is really hard. That's another thing. One of these days I'm going to figure out a trick to that doesn't involve stabbing yourself, because I can't even see the mark anymore. But I stabbed myself pretty good trying to box stitch, right? Coming through. Anyway, I'm a little scatterbrained, but we're right at 6 minutes. So there's your saddle stitch in a much easier way.